Hey, welcome to Rapid Reaction. I am Chase Irle. You can follow me at Sports Talk ATL on Twitter or Instagram. In this episode, I will be breaking down 5 takeaways from the first 5 games of the season. I know a lot of people like to overreact, so I'm here to calm some people down, talk about some good things, talk about some bad things, talk about what to expect in the future based off the first 5 games in the season. Let's start with some good. Matt Olson, absolutely fantastic. I told you guys it wouldn't be much of a drop off in it, if any, from Freddie Freeman, and it hasn't so far. Matt Olson's hitting 500. He already has his first home run. He looks like he's fitting in with the team. Everyone's raving about him. There will be absolutely no issues at first place for the Braves this year or for the next 8 after that because we extended him for 8 seasons. This was a great trade. And actually, I was looking at Pache and how Oakland's kind of making him a little bit of their star. You look at Langoliers, he already has 3 home runs for the AAA affiliate of the A's. So both those guys are doing fantastic. This looks like a trade initially. I know we're not going to know for years where both teams are going to turn out very well. I wish Pache, I wish Langoliers the best, and the rest of those guys that we sent over, Cusick and Joey Estes. But the Braves got what they needed right now in Matt Olson. He's going to replace Freddie Freeman. He could be – I expect him to be legitimately better than Freddie Freeman over the course of their next contracts. So the Braves, no matter what happens with Pache and Langoliers, they're going to win this trade. Olson's going to be fantastic. He's a fantastic leader in the clubhouse. He's a fantastic person off the field. When I made the comment about how I really wanted Pache to do well on Twitter, all I got were responses from A's fans saying, and we're all cheering for Olson too. The guy's great. The guy's great. All rave reviews, and he looks great on the field. But now let's talk about a little bit of question marks. The rotation looks shaky. Max Fried, Ian Anderson, they looked terrible, for lack of a better word. Huascar Ynoa looked awful. Spencer Strider, okay, in relief yesterday. Tucker Davidson, pretty bad. But I'm here to talk you off that ledge. I know this was a big question mark coming into the season, but I've seen enough in the first 5 games that I'm actually feeling better about this because, listen, Max Fried, he's going to be fine. Ian Anderson, guy's going to be fine. Charlie Morton's a rock. Kyle Wright looked fantastic, which I think is the key, the X factor to this rotation. If you have those 4 guys right there, you're going to be fine. The 5th spot can be a rotating door. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys I'm going to feel confident in this 5th spot as this season goes on. Spencer Strider, as he continues to get stretched out, he looked like a legitimate option. Tucker Davidson, he was hitting 96, 97, guys. He sat 93 last year and was really good in the majors and was even better in AAA. If he can sit 96, 97 with control, he's going to be just fine. He is a real option to fill that 5th spot. Kyle Mueller down in AAA has been great. Today, we might get the opportunity to see Bryce Elder, who I love as a high-rising prospect, and maybe a guy like Tuki Toussaint. He even had a really good in AAA. And I still feel, okay about Huascar. I still have always said that I think he's better off in the bullpen, but I'm not ready to give up on him after 1 starts. Maybe he needs to go to AAA to figure out. I'm not sure. He looked very bad, especially with his control yesterday. But there's enough guys to fill out that 5th spot. And one of those guys is going to break out. The Braves played a number game. I thought that was a smart way to go about it, unless you could get a frontline rotation guy. Play the numbers game with all these high-powered arms, and one of them is likely to pan out. I think that'll definitely happen as the season goes on. As long as Kyle Wright continues the way he's trending, this rotation could actually be really, really good. I love the amount of power, the amount of electricity that this group brings. There's guys that can strike guys out. This is going to be an exciting group. I know they looked terrible in the first 5 games, but this is why there's a 162-game season. Rotation is going to be absolutely fine. I think one of the big deals, which leads me to my 3rd takeaway, is the short spring training has definitely had its effects on both pitchers. You see guys that aren't stretched out. You see guys that are rusty, and hitters too. You see guys who haven't gotten many at bats. I mean, most of these guys got 15 to 20 at bats maybe in spring training. I think that's why you see a lot of guys like Eddie Rosario and others struggle. Which brings me to my 4th point. Dansby Swanson, my man. I have been all over you for your entire career saying this is the year you're going to break out. This year you're going to break out. And he's gotten better significantly over the last 3 seasons. But man, if this guy could ever avoid those 1 month to 6 week stretches where he completely forgets how to hit a baseball. It's crazy how he can go from so cold to so hot to so cold. I mean, it's not, and it's like polar opposites. It's like I'm the best hitting shortstop in baseball to I cannot do anything but strike out. He has 10 strikeouts in his first 15 at bats. And let's be honest, it's probably going to take him a few weeks to figure this out at least. I would not expect this to just turn around because that's just who Dansby Swanson is. I was hoping maybe he could avoid the long slump this year and have that breakout season, but it looks like he's going to start the season a lot like he did last season. I know it's only been 5 games, but 10 strikeouts in 15 games. And I mean, he was striking out yesterday on 89-mile-per-hour fastballs right down the middle. That's just, what you see AA players do, not guys who I expect to be top 10 shortstops in the league. Which brings me to my last point. The Braves, and this is a very obvious one, really need a healthy Ronald Acuna. The lineup without him is clearly missing one bat with the DH. So hopefully he can DH sooner rather than later. I'm expecting in the next 2 weeks us to find out whether he can DH. And I think the Braves are going to try to hurry him up here a little bit as long as he's healthy because there's no doubt the lineup needs him. And they need him in the field too because as much as I said, we could probably make it with Rosario, Duvall, and Ozuna in the field, it's looked very, very ugly in the first 5 games. And I don't think that's getting better. Unlike the rotation, unlike Dansby Swanson, I don't think those guys are just bad defensive players. So we need Acuna out in the field. I don't think you need him to play center field. I think Duvall is pretty decent out there. But, getting Rosario out of right field and switching with Acuna is a huge upgrade. And then you can, put Rosario or Ozuna in left field. They're both pretty subpar defenders with weak arms. So, getting Acuna back, I think, is huge. This team's probably not as powerful as they were last year without him. You lose Soler, you lose Jock Peters, and you lose guys like that. So they're definitely missing one more bat. And obviously putting Acuna in there, who would be the best bat in their lineup, is huge. But defensively, too, they need him back in the lineup. So those are my 5 takeaways. I think the Braves are going to be just fine, 2-3 start. I don't think they've started over 500 since Brian Snitker has been manager. There's absolutely no reason to worry. They'll be just fine. A few things got to work out, shake off the rust, get Acuna back. They'll win the NL East again.